chase your dreams, you may never know. You may never know. Well, I'm a little reminder. Show up with my squad, black gloves, Peaky Blinders.
Ramily, Ramily. Big game this week. Rams versus Cowboys. First, if you're new here, make sure to smash that subscribe button, like, and share. If you're a returning Ramily or other NFL fan, please like and share. And you can also follow me on Twitter or X at Shay Tweeted at pinned below. So let's get right into it. Our Rams are traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys, who are off a bye week. The Rams are 3-4. Cowboys are 4-2. This game will be taking place Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And obviously, if you're on the West Coast, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I mean, I wish we had your guys' time zone for games because you guys could still have the rest of your day after football. Here on the East Coast, it's literally an all-day affair. You got your mornings, and then from 1 on is just football. But, hey, I love it. So, Rams leaders heading into this game for individual stats. Passing yards, Matthew Stafford at 1,908 yards. Kyron Williams at 456 rushing yards. Receiving yards is Puka Nacua, 752. Actually, that is the second most for the first 7 games of any wide receiver all time, just behind Jamar Chase. Tackles, Ernest Jones, 67 tackles and interceptions, and the only guy in our secondary to get an interception, Akello Witherspoon with 2. Team stats for the Rams. The Rams are averaging 22 points per game while allowing 20.1 points per game. They have 1,772 net passing yards, 7 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Matthew Stafford's been sacked 18 times, 436 yards, and we have 12 sacks for 82 yards. Rushing yards, 784, 4.3 yards per carry, 112 yards per game, and that's pretty good. With 8 rushing touchdowns, but we have allowed 9 rushing touchdowns and 117 rushing yards per game. And average time of possession, 31 minutes, 23 seconds. On the Cowboys side, individual stats, Dak Prescott, their passing leader, 1,333 yards. Their rushing leader, Tony Pollard, 370 yards. Receiving leader, CeeDee Lamb, 475 yards. Their tackles leader, Damon Clark, 9 tackles, and interceptions, Deron Bland, the man that is taking over for Diggs. Team stats. Cowboys average 25 points per game while only allowing 16 points per game. They have 210 yards passing per game. Rushing yards, 718. So they're getting 119 rush yards per game while allowing 111. They have 31 minutes, 52 seconds time of possession, so pretty much in line with us. So we're facing a good team on paper. The Rams lost a tough one last week to Pittsburgh. Obviously, the refs played a big part in just ending the game without giving us a chance, but you can't put the game in the refs' hands, so there's only so much we could use as an excuse for that. At the end of the day, it's a loss. Brett Maher struggled last week, missing an extra point and 2 field goals, which soon thereafter in the week led to us releasing him. So now the Rams have a big question mark at kicker. I have to bring up this guy's name because it's super hard to know. Lucas have a risk. That's our kicker. We brought in some kickers this week, including Mason Crosby, but nothing's happened. So we're going with the young kid. He was kicking in preseason, and it's his second year in the NFL. He was very inaccurate in college, so definitely nervous. But we all wanted Brett Maurer out, so it wasn't like there's a bunch of kickers out there that we could just fill in and feel confident about. Robbie Gould comes to mind, but he wants big money. We didn't pay Matt Gay. And all Matt Gay's doing is shredding 50-yarders, which if we had, our record would be a lot different right now. But fortunately, he's on the Colts. So McVay put Maurer in some situations. He's being very conservative. I like to see McVay be more aggressive with his play calls and with his fourth and down calls. Like, if we're already on their side of the field, let's just go for it. If it's a 4th and 3, 4th and 2, let's try instead of these long field goals, especially now. And, you know, we're putting ourselves in tough situations. We've been lucky prior with Matt Gay, Greg Zuerlein, and our Super Bowl runs. So obviously, McVay really likes to just have those guys that can nail it accurately from 50-plus yards or have just a big leg in general, and who can rebound if after they miss, which Brett Maurer obviously seemed like it was just a mental thing because from 50-plus over his career, he isn't the worst. Actually has a higher percentage than Greg Zuerlein, but lately, and it's just been a mental thing for him. And he is a former Cowboy, so I guess like his chance to really show them out is not going to come to fruition. But McVay's play calling has not been there, and he's not been aggressive. It's 3rd and 15. He's going to run and he's going to throw a screen. He's not going to throw it downfield. Unfortunately, that's what we want. We have Stafford, we have Kupp, we have Puka. McVay has to just get more aggressive. And if we are more aggressive on those 3rd and longs and we go deep and Stafford throws an interception, it's pretty much a punt, right? Super Bowl season, we did that a lot. Big reason why Stafford led the NFL in interceptions. We are very aggressive. He's not being aggressive right now at all. And that is something that we really need to work on. Other big news coming this week, Rob Havenstein. The longest tenured Ram is hurt. He has a calf injury. He did not participate in practice yesterday, and that was Thursday. And he wasn't on in the injury report before. So we could be playing without our big guy, Rob Havenstein. It's a tough loss. You can make the argument that that is our best offensive lineman. I know Avella's looked great. Kevin Dotson. Larry Jackson definitely has not played too good the last 2 games. But I strongly believe Havenstein is our best offensive lineman. So if he is to miss this game, Joseph Noboom, who hasn't played because Kevin Dotson's been so dominant in the run game, will probably fill in at right tackle, or it could be Warren McClendon, our rookie out of Georgia. I think we start with Noboom. You go with the more experienced guy. We're facing a very stout defensive line in Dallas, led by Micah Parsons. So the injury just couldn't come at a worse time. This is a D-line that you really want all your guys out there, and we're not going to have our leader and our captain. So something to watch out for. I'm not saying he's going to miss the game, but it's looking more likely that we should put in our head that we will be without Rob Havenstein in this game. On the defensive side of the ball, the Rams are holding teams, but they're not making big plays, right? We're letting teams chew clock. We're letting them get first downs. We're letting them get yards. Sure, we are stopping them in the red zone. Sure, we're not allowing a lot of passing touchdowns to wide receivers, only 1 still. But we're getting shredded in the backfield by pass catchers out the backfield. We're getting shredded by tight ends. Even though we've had bomb tight ends out there, they're still doing good against us. The ones that have been injured and replaced, like Pat Frymouth last week. This is something the Rams have to address. I feel strongly about. If you watched my latest video yesterday, we need help on the edge. I've been saying this for the longest time. Even before I seen what Byron Young could be. He's very good so far. But Michael Hoyt, granted, he had 2 sacks early last week, but he disappeared after that. He's dropping back in coverage still. We need someone to help Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's going to get frustrated. And this is the issue you come into a year where you want to retool, but you got guys that want to win like Stafford, Donald, Kupp. Obviously, the whole team wants to win, but those are the guys that know that their window's closing to win another championship. So next year is supposed to be the year we make some big moves. But what about this year? We have to keep Aaron Donald intact, in line, and want to stay with us. I still feel we need to address the edge. Linebacker play's been okay. Roseboom's been definitely improving. Almost had another interception last week after having his first one the week prior. But the pressure, these quarterbacks are having too much time in the pocket. They're able to bounce out because there's not solidified edge presence outside of Byron Young and Aaron Donald, but that's interior. Aaron Donald does sometimes play outside. We're trying to make work with what we have, but at the end of the day, I think we need someone to apply pressure, especially if we really want to contend in the playoffs and make a sleeper run. You need someone to attack these guys like Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy. These are the teams that we're going to face that will give us the toughest challenge. And Dak Prescott this week. Say what you want, but Dak Prescott is not a bad quarterback. He has moments where he seems to just blow it in big games, but this is not a big game. This is a regular season game at home, 4-2, week 8. So we really got to figure that out. I mean, we win this game, that probably pushes the needle more further that we should address that situation. The guys I have in mind, Brian Burns, Montez Sweat, Chase Young. A big sleeper would be Danielle Hunter, but I doubt he's going to get moved now, especially with Minnesota winning. So I feel defensively that's the need right now. Overall, the Rams are stopping the run in between the tackles. When teams bounce outside, they have more success. But we are stopping the run on the inside. We're definitely more beefy up front than we have been in the past. So that's a good thing. If we really want to, contend, edge, smash that. All right, so with Dallas, you know the name Dak Prescott, you know CeeDee Lamb, you know Tony Pollard, and you probably know Brandon Cooks, right? If you're a real Ramily. They also have someone that you may not know much about, Jake Ferguson, their tight end. As I mentioned earlier, tight ends kill the Rams. This is a guy we have to stop. He is getting a ton of targets a game. If you have him in fantasy, you probably know that already. He is definitely a big target for Dak Prescott. And I'm sure when they watch film, they'll see tight ends have big days against the Rams. So you got to keep Jake Ferguson in check. You already know what those other guys are going to do. You already know who they are. You should already be prepared for that. Jake Ferguson, don't let him fall under the radar and just have a monster game. Their offensive line is healthy. Their actual whole team is healthy. If you look at the injury report, Dallas is coming in full force off the bye week. They have a strong offensive line. We faced strong offensive lines in Dallas, in San Francisco, Pittsburgh. No, we had our day with them at times. But this is going to be a challenge. We are going to need to bring 5 because we can't give Dak Prescott a lot of time. We need to bounce him out of the pocket, try to get pressure. Can't allow him to look deep to guys like Cooks and CeeDee Lamb. We already know Cooks is a burner. We already know CeeDee Lamb is all around wide receiver one. Tony Pollard killed us last year, but this year it seems like he's slowing down week after week in the run game. But he's a pass catching threat, which we've seen guys like DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Najee Harris. These guys are catching balls out the backfield. We got to stop that because you can't let Tony Pollard get out in space one-on-one versus our cornerbacks like Kobe Durant, who can't tackle, Darion Kendrick, who knows what Kendrick is going to show up. Our safeties are solid. We do have solid safeties, but you have to watch out for Pollard out the backfield. I'm not too worried about him running. Like I said, he slowed down in the run game, and our run defense has improved. But out the backfield, passing, catching, got to watch out for Tony Pollard. On defense, we all know the name Micah Parsons. You got to watch out for Micah Parsons. He can really change a game. Probably one of the best defensive players in football. I'm not a big fan of like his podcast and his ass kissing of the Philadelphia Eagles or his remarks about San Francisco after they just got whooped. Like, you had your chance, you lost by 32. You just gotta pipe it down. It's the issue with these podcasts during the season. These players just, especially him, I don't know what he's saying sometimes, but anyways, football wise, one of the best. You have to watch out for him. Damon Clark, their leading tackler, of course, watch out for him. We all know DeMarcus Lawrence has been one of the best defensive linemen in football for the last couple of years. With Trevon Diggs out for the year, Cowboys have been going to Deron Bland, who does have 3 interceptions. You know, I looked more into him. I was like, oh, they don't got Diggs. Deron Bland looks just as good. So that's not really going to be too big of an advantage as we may think on paper. And then they have Stephon Gilmore, another vet that they added this offseason. Plays a lot of man-to-man. So I could see him following Cooper Kupp, possibly with Bland more on Puka Nacua. We will see. And Bland also has 7 pass deflections, so it's not going to be a walk in the park. Javon Curse, Malik Hooker at safety. They definitely have a solid defense. But one thing I will say about Dallas is they are inconsistent. They lost to a team like the Cardinals by 12 points. A team that we beat by 17, right? I know you can't compare what a team did versus a team versus what we did versus a team. Like any given Sunday, there's things such as matchups, and that's what I think we have. We have Cooper Kupp, right? I think Cooper Kupp has to be utilized this game. Last year, he shredded them, 140 plus yards and a touchdown, 7 catches. We have to utilize him. That is our matchup. We could put him anywhere, slot, outside. You know, if Gilmore follows him, that makes it a little harder, but that's just them taking their best corner off of him and leaving Puka with Bland and Tutu with whoever they will have on Tutu. Tutu could have a big game as well here. He could get open. Will be hard to run on Dallas. They're number 2 against the run, but we have to run the ball. We have to run the ball to set up the play action. Another advantage we do have is we can put Witherspoon on CeeDee Lamb and Durant on Brandon Cooks. Hopefully we do that because he's faster than Darion Kendrick. And I think that gives us a chance because they have a good wide receiver 1 and then Brandon Cooks, right? Like Cooks is good, but he's not what we've been facing as wide receiver 2s. Like Pickens and Deontay Johnson, that's loaded. So I think we could really take advantage there on the Cowboys. And this will be a good game. We're minus 6.5. but I'm taking the Rams in this one, 27-20. So take the Rams money line, win big. Ramily, take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. I'm your boy Ramsaholic. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I'm out.
Cold as days. They know I always hit my shot. That's where the fucking Kobe's grave. And when I spit, it's so insane. And when you spit, they don't replay. I'm in that green Celtic starter jacket. What happened to that car, boy? Man, we thought you had it. Look, I'm a little reminder. Show up with my squad, black gloves, peaky blinders. If you run, we find ya. Gotta keep your head straight, can never look behind ya. Time to kill every rapper till these labels sign ya. Illuminati, every necklace we rock cold and every